Well, for more on this story, we can turn to Yossi Mekelberg, an associate fellow with the Middle East and North Africa program at Chatham House. Thank you for joining us on France 24. I wanted to ask, what are the chances of Netanyahu backing down and saying, okay, we won't go ahead with this ground offensive?
Good evening. Well, there are some options there. Either he's deliberately in the way that he's declaring about the offensive, that is bluffing and trying to put pressure on Hamas and also on the international community, forgive me, to put pressure there and see whether Hamas is ready to surrender because that offensive is coming. On the other hand, he might really mean it, which is more likely, and then the international community, if it wants to stop it, and mainly in this case is Washington, is to stop it from happening and put pressure. But the issue right now is much of it is about Netanyahu's survival, the Israeli government's survival in power. And every aspect of his ability to survive is damaged day by day, whether by the hostages not being released yet, which might get even worse if there is an attack in Rafah, for instance, downgrading the credit rating of Israel only before the weekend, and the demonstration protest against him in Israel, and he's looking for a military victory, and this probably will make him, even in this sense, more dangerous.
Well, this has notably created a standoff with Egypt. The Associated Press is quoting Egyptian officials as saying Cairo's threatened to suspend its peace treaty with Israel in the event of a ground offensive in Rafah. Is this likely, and what would that mean for the region?
It depends what happened. I think Egypt means what it says, because there are different scenarios. There one scenario, if Israel enters into Rafah, where there are million people right now, many of them that already been displaced from other areas of the Gaza Strip, it might end in a huge carnage. And this, of course, something where that many in the Arab world will see as crossing a line if it hasn't been crossed already. B, there is also a scenario from Egypt's point of view that this more than million people right now will try to find a way out of Gaza, and the only way for them to actually escape such a terrible destiny or fate will be actually to go inside Egypt, which is also for Egypt is a nightmare scenario. So I think the message from Cairo right now is we are not ready for either of the scenarios in case of there is a military offensive by Israel.
Well, just on that, Israel says that these Palestinians in Rafah will be able to move further north, where troops have already, as they say, cleared the area. What do you think about that?
Well, first of all, we see if there is, from at least what I heard today, some UN and other humanitarian organizations that's still operating in Gaza said that this is not a viable option. If Israel, in this sense, can find a route for the vast majority of displaced people, bear in mind those are civilians; those are not Hamas militants. If they find for them safe passage, in a way, it mitigates the situation that many of us are so worried about. But this remains to be seen, because we saw during the war over the last 4 months that displaced people were told move to these more secure areas, and then they found, unfortunately, that these places were not safe for them.
All right, Yossi Mekelberg, thank you for speaking to France 24.